All right, this is big time. Waiting to see if Wicked's going to come on. So, we're going to review this documentary from 1992. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it. I watched it and it was kind of mind blowing. A lot of similarities between 2020 riots with Floyd. The documentary I'm talking about is called Clash of Colors from 1992, and it primarily focuses on the Korean Americans. I noticed that if you go on Google, you know what? Let's just do it right now. So if I go on Google and I go 92 race riots, back, I can't spell race riots. Oh, Wikipedia. What caused the race riots in 1992? Jury acquitted 4 officers of the Los Angeles Police Department with excessive force in the arrest of beating of Rodney King. Summary deaths and facts. The Rodney King riots. The LA riots were a rude awakening for Korean Americans. Rodney King and the Los Angeles race riots. The 1992 Los Angeles Rebellion. No justice, no peace. Okay. Los Angeles riots, also called the Los Angeles Uprising. Media misrepresentation, known as Saigu to Korean Americans. Found not guilty in the beating of Rodney King, immigration, race, and riot, the 1992 Los Angeles Uprising. 1992 riots and civil unrest, Asian Americans, the LA race riots. 30 years, LA timelines, Rodney King verdict, how the LA riots changed everything and nothing. Korean American black conflict during LA riots. All right, interesting. So, documentary we're going to cover, I want to cover. Let me see if she's around. If she's not around, we'll just pull up some other stuff for the day. But let me see if she's here. Again, it's hard to, trying to get our schedules together and everything. I have a copy, or I have the link in the description of where you can find it. The whole thing's free on Facebook. But I figure let's cover a couple stories while we're waiting. Let's go to Redux. Let's see. Convicted pedophile changes pronouns to she, her during sentencing for abuse of 7-year-old child. Awesome. Convicted pedophile appears to have declared a transgender identity while being sentenced for the horrific sexual abuse of a young girl. On February 23rd, Robert William Perry II was sentenced to life in federal prison following a conviction for the aggravated sexual abuse of a minor. The victim, a 7-year-old girl for whom Perry was responsible, was abused over the course of 1 year while in Perry's care, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Perry would coerce the girl into performing sex acts in exchange for candy, toys, and the opportunity to play video games in what Perry termed as a man cave, a closet where he regularly played video games and watched pornography, neither of which bother me as long as it doesn't involve the kid. If you watch pornography on your own or with an adult, that's fine. Not a 7-year-old. Fuck this dude. If it's true, due process, a jury, trial, lawyer, all that. And then if it's true, a millstone. The abuses took place from 2017 to 2018 on the Muskogee Nation Reserve in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oh, is he an Indian? Do we got a black Indian? Is he Two-Spirit? The child eventually divulged some of the details of her ordeal to a school friend, and the conversation was overheard by another student who immediately went to a teacher and reported what she had heard. The Oklahoma Department of Human Services was contacted, and the victim was interviewed by a sexual assault nurse examiner. The girl was hesitant to speak about what had happened because Perry had told her to keep secrets, but she would go on to draw pictures of what had happened to her. Yeah, that's typical. Perry was initially arrested and charged in 2018, and he was convicted in an Oklahoma state court in 2020. But the conviction was later dismissed because the state lacked the jurisdiction to prosecute the case. In the United States, only the federal government or tribal councils have jurisdiction to prosecute cases that occur in Indian country that involve Native American defendants. Oh, so the Indians got to judge the Indians, okay. Because Perry is indigenous and the crime had been committed on Muskogee land, the case was turned over to the federal government. During a hearing in 2022, the victim testified in federal court as to what had happened to her. Redux has reviewed a transcription of the child's testimony and is withholding identifying details out of respect for her privacy. While in court, the girl explained Perry had a closet where he played video games and smoked. Perry would take her into the closet when there was no one else in the home. The child detailed that Perry would tell her to strip naked and kneel on the floor, and she would be instructed to do these horrible things. No, I need to read it. To take his genitals into her mouth. The girl, who was 11 when she gave her testimony, said Perry would force his penis into her throat and caused her to choke, among other abuses, which included Perry touching and licking her genitals. After sexually abusing the girl, Perry would give her Jolly Ranchers or Starburst. The abuses happened regularly after school. Perry was found guilty on counts of aggravated sexual abuse of a minor in Indian country and for abuse of sexual contact of a minor in Indian country. Perry was sentenced in February 2023, and shortly after, the U.S. Department of Justice amended their press release, noting that Perry now went by she/her pronouns. Previous releases had described Perry as a man. Court documents revealed that Perry's change in gender identity appears to have been declared around the same time he was being sentenced to life in prison for his crimes. Good. I don't want to pay money for him. I don't think the residents of Oklahoma or the Indians should have to pay money for this motherfucker. Let him do hard labor and make 2 pennies an hour or whatever. A sentencing outcome signed by the judge in the case requested Perry be sent to a medium security facility in the Tulsa area with explicit provisions for gender care treatment programs. You're a bitch, Judge. You're a fucking bitch. Other than the sentencing document, Perry's gender identity was never mentioned during the trial. The defendant is hereby committed to the custody of the United States Bureau of Prisons to be in prison for a total term of life. Said counts shall run concurrently. The court strongly recommends the defendant be designated to a medium security facility. The court further recommends the defendant be placed in a facility that will allow him to the opportunity to participate in the most comprehensive mental health and gender care treatment Who cares? Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? After everything he did to a kid, who fucking cares? The defendant is remanded to the custody of the United States Marshal. Perry has been placed under the jurisdiction of the Bureau of Prisons due to the fact his crimes were committed on the Muskogee Nation Reservation. Under current Bureau of Prisons guidelines, Perry would be able to request housing on the basis of his self-declared gender identity. So he's using it to get an easier life sentence. So he's manipulating the system. On January 13th, 2022, the Bureau of Prisons revised its transgender offender manual, which included guidelines previously scrubbed by the Trump administration with respect to gender self-identification for federal inmates. Under Trump, inmates were housed based on biological sex as a sole consideration. But the Biden administration re-invoked Obama-era guidelines requiring gender identity be considered when making housing assignments. So the Democrats are fucking up prisons. Although I would say the Republicans are weak, because I imagine Oklahoma might be a supermajority of Republicans in Oklahoma. I'm not aware of any supermajority in the Oklahoma Senate. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. There are currently 1,500 federal inmates who identify as transgender. According to Keep Prisons Single Sex USA, almost 50% of trans-identified male federal inmates are in custody for sex offenses. This is compared to just 11% of the non-trans male federal inmate population. Interesting. So there we go. Wow, another. Again, I don't know if this person identified as trans or not, but what they're doing is now they're saying they're a woman to be sent to have a less harsher life sentence. And my point is, who cares how they identify? If, again, it seems that what they did to this girl, if that's true, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Fair and humane treatment, like what you did to that girl in the closet. I would have just ordered your death already. All right, and then see if we have another one. Oh yeah, we have another one from Redux. Again, I don't know if Wicket's coming on today, but got to cover a couple stories. Video of 13-year-old drag kid dancing at party sponsored by gay hookup app goes viral. Okay, so what we have is, this is child sex trafficking. Okay? This is a child who's been kidnapped and being forced to do these things. And coercion can be psychological. When you tell a 4-year-old child what they are, they will believe you. A video showing a young drag queen dancing at a party sponsored by a gay hookup app is sparking outrage on social media, with many calling the clip disturbing. This is sex trafficking. This is child sex trafficking. Have some fucking balls. On April 29th, Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus uploaded a TikTok to her Twitter showing a clip of a young boy dancing at a party surrounded by adults. The child is seen wearing a short pink dress and black latex high-heeled boots and appears to be the only minor in the crowd. And this guy should be in prison. They should all be in prison. This guy looks, I mean, you're filming a teenager. How old is this kid? We'll find out. A 13-year-old. You're filming a 13-year-old. You're filming it. Jail. See, I can be a communist too. In the corner of the TikTok, the words "sponsored by Jacked" can be seen. Jacked is a chat and dating app similar to Grindr for gay and bisexual men seeking sex. Oh, wow. And you sponsored a 13-year-old to dance? Oh, I can't believe it. Let's watch it, guys. I'm going to puke. I can't watch it anymore. No, guys. I'm not fed posting. The video can be traced to an event which took place on February 16th of this year. The boy in the video is known as Ally Mark Jacobs, a prolific drag kid born Kingston Wells. Now, this is stunning and brave, right? Stunning and brave, right? Look at all these people, and look at all the gay men. Look at all the gay black men supporting this underage 13-year-old white kid dancing in front of them. I got to take a break. Where is it? I don't know what to say. So I answer it this way. Matthew 18:5. If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a larger millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. That's all I'm going to say. The video can be traced to an event which took place on February 16th of this year. The boy in the video is known. Oh, I read that. Wells originally posted the video to his TikTok and Instagram. tagging Jamari Amor in the description and calling him Dad. Jamari is a gay porn model and choreographer who has been a mentor to Wells in his drag training. This is not the first time videos of Wells performing for adults has gone viral on social media. Have you also heard of Destiny is Amazing? The child recently caused outrage on Twitter after footage began to circulate showing him dancing in a black latex dress and high-heeled boots for an audience of adults. The video, which was filmed in March, was taken at the BRTB TV Awards Ball in New York. Oh, a Democrat-run hellhole. I'm not surprised. On Instagram, Wells revealed that Jamari Moore had been the one to bring him to New York from his home in LA to perform at the ball. They just want to get married, guys. Guys, they just want to get married. Guys, they just want to get married. They just want to get married, guys. They just want to get married. They just want to get married. Yeah. They just want to get married. Guys, this is... Wells' Instagram account currently has over 15,000 followers and is said to be mom monitored. What the fuck does that mean? Is that is that like the Jonas Brothers and their purity rings? Like when they hump the guitar and they spray foam at little girls that are 12 and 11 years old, but then Disney says they have purity. So they can sell sex to kids, but then they can say they have purity rings. The boy's parents are never seen in his video. The boy's parents, wasn't it said he was adopted by a gay model? Calling him Dad. Jamari. So where are his parents? His parents wouldn't even let you. His father should beat the shit out of Jamari. His real father should beat the ever-living shit out of Jamari. The child's social media history suggests his parents have been attempting to get him involved in performing from a very... Oh, he does have real parents. A millstone for them, too. The child's social media history suggests his parents have been attempting to get him involved in performing from a very early age, with photos and videos uploaded as early as 2015 showing he had been entered into various singing and acting contests. Wells' family had seemingly traveled from Dayton, Ohio to Los Angeles regularly for auditions, eventually moving there outright. Wells has multiple siblings who were also involved in show business, in quotations, from very young ages. In videos from 2015 and 2016, when he had been just 5 or 6 years of age, Wells can be seen boisterously performing in auditions with the purpose of getting a role in a Disney commercial. The videos are tagged Young Hollywood and Future Star. Yeah, but that's not... Yeah, but that's not... That's not this. Don't even try to fucking say they're the same. That's a false equivalence. Apples to oranges. Wells was selected for the commercial and appeared in a Disney advertisement in 2016. Yeah, I don't know if Wicked's coming on today. I'll have to cover the documentary maybe tomorrow. She's probably still working. January 2018, Wells uploaded a video to his Instagram titled King and Zoe, showing his male and female sides confronting each other. It marks the first instance of the child's gender identity being mentioned. The video description reads, "Have you ever met Zoe? Zoe has been around since I was 4 years old, and as I get older, Zoe becomes more a part of me every day." All right, so his parents need to be in prison too. "I'm still Kingston, but I love being Zoe. Hope you like my first little scene my mom shot for me. You're failing his parent. You failed this kid as parents. You failed. You don't deserve kids." Following the video, Wells is seen wearing more feminine clothes as his photos and video. He first attends a drag convention 5 months after he was first tagged as being a gender fluid kid. So it is a slippery slope. It is a gay to pedophile pipeline. Wells becomes more involved in the drag scene over the coming year. In 2020, in a 2020 post ostensibly written by Wells' mother, Wells is seen as a drag queen for career day at his school. In the photo description, Wells' mother uses she, her pronouns to refer to her son. "Real talk, this morning was hard. I know kids are going to mess with her. I know she's going to be questioned, but this child has waited all year for career day. She got up at 5:45 to put on her best drag. She secured her wig extra tight so no one would snatch it, and she was so excited. I only wish at 10 I was as secure with who I was as this kid. She's going to be a drag queen when she grows up, so there. That's right. Living out your fantasy through your children.
Oh, don't be. I love you. Have a good day, okay? Bye.
And we see the child, and we see the boy being destroyed by their parents. And now your son dances for gay men. Oh, and for anyone who wants to say that's, oh, you don't like that? Does that bother you that I said that? Okay, let's watch this again. Do we need to see where that led? Does it bother you that I said that? Good. Let's see where the kid's ending up now. Does that bother you? That's right. That's what supporting that shit gets you. Following the 2020 post, Wells' Instagram feed became almost entirely dedicated to his drag persona. He has attended multiple RuPaul events and quickly developed a profile within the drag community. Wells has since been seen performing at several adult drag shows and parties in outfits that have become progressively more suggestive. Oh, no shit. 2022, Wells became officially affiliated with the House of Marc Jacobs, a dance collective participating in the ballroom scene. Ballroom culture is overwhelmingly associated with the gay male community and began as a way for Black and Latino drag queens to organize their own patents. Most participants in ballroom belong to dance groups known as houses. The House of Marc Jacobs was launched by Jamori Amor, Wells' drag dad, with the official blessing of the Marc Jacobs brand. Wells took the name Ali Marc Jacobs to represent his affiliation with the house. In September of 2022, Wells was introduced as the youngest member of the Marc Jacobs family by Jamori Amar at an event. In the video, Wells was posted to Wells' Instagram. Amari is seen wearing thong shorts that prominently display his genital region as he invites Wells out to dance for an audience of primarily gay men. Wells then emerges wearing a blue tutu and corset and begins to dance, while Amor and others scream, "Pussy cunt."
Okay. Can I see the youngest and newest member of the House of Marc Jacobs? There is Kathy. My daughter. The baby. The pussy cunt.
Come on, Dad!
I'm glad I found this website. Because as disgusting as this is a litmus test for people who say this isn't happening. And if those people say it isn't happening, get the fuck away from them. The baby of the House of Marc Jacobs. Wells has since participated in multiple events on behalf of the House of Marc Jacobs. Drag kids and child involvement in drag shows has become a boiling point in the debate surrounding gender ideology and its impact on children, especially since the controversial spread of Drag Queen Story Hour across North America and Europe. So where all the white people are. Although Kamala Harris did go to Uganda and they did threaten sanctions, which was fascinating. She doesn't have time to go to the border. She doesn't have time to go to Chicago or Philadelphia or New Orleans or Detroit or Gary or Tulsa or LA or San Francisco or Houston or Dallas. But she has time to go to Uganda. Controversy has been stoked by the arrests of multiple prominent drag queens for child sexual abuse-related offenses. Last October, armed protesters and counter-protesters clashed outside of an Oregon drag queen storytime event after it was discovered that an 11-year-old female child would be performing. Velanope was often tipped by adult male drag performers found to have sent money to the child via a Venmo account set up in her name. Days later, it was discovered Vanellope's drag coach was facing child sexual exploitation material charges. Oh, no way. I can't believe that. After exchanging abuse images with pedophiles on the internet. Since then, protests outside of drag events have become a regular occurrence. In November, a transgender drag queen event directed at children in Denton, Texas, was provided security from protesters with black-clad Antifa members armed with loaded guns. Yeah, that's right. Well, then we have to protest with our guns. What bullshit. Yep. They just want to get married, guys. They just want to get married. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I can cover one more story. And from the post-millennial. Let me see. Okay. So let's cover one more. There's a lot of stories here, but there's one more I want to cover. I'm getting tired of the fucking Democrats. And that's not to say that I like Republicans either. Most Republicans are worthless. Some are actually doing things. Utah, Florida, was it South Dakota? Pennsylvania's done a couple things. Although Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are trying to defy the Pennsylvania Senate. Tennessee. And what I just mean is protecting children. They're not going far enough, in my opinion. You need to have some teeth with the laws you make. Unless you're punishing the doctors, whether financially or criminally, it's not going to stop. Oh, here, look, what a surprise. 27 Colorado Democrats vote against making indecent exposure to minors a felony. These type of laws have been used to ban drag shows. Right, that's the fucking point, you dumb bitch. Why do so many black Democrats champion the alphabet mafia? On Saturday, the Colorado House of Representatives voted on HB 23-1135, a bill introduced to increase the severity of indecent exposure in front of a minor to a Class 6 felony. Good. And 27 Democrats voted against the bill, with one saying she was concerned it would lead to the ban of drag shows. Well, you don't have to ban the drag show. You can just say that no one under the age of 18 is allowed to go there. That's simple, right? I mean, are you allowed to take middle school kids into a set where they film porn? That's where we're going. That's what it's leading to. State Representative Leslie Harold said these type of laws have been used to ban drag shows, to target individuals who use the restroom of the sex. Shut the fuck up, you stupid cunt. No, God, you fat bitch who got elected in a failed upward because you have a black vagina. That's it. Let's hear your stupid bullshit.
Hey.
Now let's hear the ad first. Good God.
99% of people with an IRA or 401k will not see this video, and that would be a tragedy. Why is that? Well, because Forbes.
These types of laws have been used to ban drag shows, to target individuals who use the restroom of the sex that they identify with, a public.
I don't care what I don't care. I don't fucking care. If you're 27 years old and you're a 27-year-old man, your dick doesn't deserve to be in a locker room with a 6-year-old girl, okay? And that's going to make you go hang yourself. I have rope. I'll give you the rope, okay?
Public restroom to charge them with felony charges. I am very concerned about the attacks against the transgender community that are happening across the country.
You're not allowed to show your dick and balls to children, okay? I know you want access to kids. I know you think that me not wanting to show, me not having my kids, me not having my daughters, if you think a 30-year-old should be allowed to just stand in front of them with their dick and balls right in front of their face. I know you think somehow that's denying, that's homophobic. Well, then I'm homophobic. It went from staying in the bedroom to now they should be allowed to put their dick and balls in your kid's face, and you just shut up, bigot. Fuck this bitch.
When I initially read this bill, it did not even come to mind for me either, as an advocate. But as I've looked at the bills and as I've talked to my colleagues who are—
You're a pedo adjacent. You support pedophiles. There's nothing wrong with this bill. Okay? Again, if you're going to have a drag show, if they want to march and show everybody their junk, then it should just be 18. You have to be 18 to be in porn. You have to be 18 to see nudity in a movie, an R-rated movie. It's the same thing. Just because you like butt sex doesn't mean you get to show your junk to kids. Okay?
Fighting these types of bills across the country, it's very clear to me that the language is very much mirrored in some of the laws that have been used to target members of our community because of who they are.
I could give a fuck less. I mean, we're reaching the point where, 10 years ago I wouldn't have had 10 years ago I would have had a problem with this, but this doesn't bother me anymore. Again, you're not allowed to, we went from keeping it in the bedroom to now we should be allowed to just be naked and be sexual deviants and degenerates in front of children. No. All right, so here all the dumb shit she said. In a tweet published by the Colorado House Republicans, the representatives show that the bill had 37 voting for and 27 voting against. Okay. According to the state legislature's website, the bill was up for final passage on Saturday and eventually did pass with amendments. According to the bill titled Penalty for Indecent Exposure in View of Minors, the current law categorized the first offense of indecent exposure with a minor as a Class 1 misdemeanor, but the bill would alter the law to make it a Class 6 felony. On Friday, the Deputy Chief of Staff for the Colorado House GOP, Roger D. Holtzid, tweeted out that in previous reading of the bill, House Democrats filibustered for nearly 3 hours against felonizing indecent exposure to minors. Yeah, I mean, again, this is exactly what happened in Florida. They said that you had to be 21. They set an age limit. They said you had to be 21 to attend a parade with nudity. I'm cool with 18. You can buy a porno mag at 18. Yeah, you got to be. Yes, there's an age limit to attending to seeing nudity. You got to be 21 to go to a bar. You have to be 21 to go to a titty bar. But for some reason, because you like butt sex or because you like rubbing your vagina against another vagina, but you get to be naked in front of kids, go fuck yourself. We'll see if we do one more. Again, I don't know if Wicked's coming on today. But like I said, let's give a little teaser. We're going to be watching the documentary Clash of Colors, which covers the 1992 Los Angeles race riots. Just do the intro today as a little teaser. Essentially, this And whenever you hear the race riots, and whenever I heard about the race riots, I always heard about, oh, the poor blacks. It's always about the blacks. Everything's about the blacks, and oh God. But that's why you never heard of this documentary, because this documentary gives the perspective from the Korean Americans. So let's just go right to the opening, and then we'll be out for the day. I'll reach out to Wicked tomorrow. We're going to be covering this whole documentary this week. I'm excited, and we'll be breaking it down and talking about it.
Los Angeles in the early 1990s was a burgeoning metropolis, boasting of its diversity as a world city poised to be the gateway of the Pacific. Los Angeles was home to over 100 different ethnicities from all points of the globe. It was perceived to be the international city that was going to lead America into the 21st century. The city had an African-American mayor who had been elected with a rainbow coalition that included blacks, whites, and other ethnic minorities.
That doesn't mean anything. I don't see that as an accomplishment. Did he get shit done?
Bradley and his rainbow coalition promised us.
Liberals are all about the first of everything. Oh, we gotta have it doesn't fucking matter. Did he do the job or not?
Angeles prosperity and hope for everyone. However, the city, which had not seen economic downturn for more than 50 years, discovered that it was not immune from the 1990-91 recession, which jolted America with the largest number of bankruptcies in United States history. Under the gleaming skyscrapers that seemingly symbolize the economic prosperity of Los Angeles, the acquittal of the officers charged with the Rodney King beating on April 29, 1992, triggered the largest urban race riots in the history of the United States. In the process, it exposed the racial tensions simmering below the surface that led to violence, with the victims being targeted.
That's Reginald Dennehy. So when blacks do it to whites, it don't matter.
On the basis of race. The ensuing violence shattered LA's carefully contrived image as the melting pot for the 21st century.
Wow, you mean black people tried to pull random people out of cars and hurt them? Wow, I didn't know that.
The melting pot had boiled over, resulting in 55 deaths and $1 billion in property damage, close to half of which was suffered by the Korean immigrant community. How did Los Angeles get to this? And could it happen again?
All right, so we're going to stop it there. Again, no word from Wicked, so we'll have to reach out to her tomorrow. So again, we're going to be reviewing Clash of Colors as this week's documentary, taking a look about it, talking about it. I'm going to be asking for Wicked's perspective growing up in the Jim Crow era of Chicago. I'm coming from Philly myself, so we're just going to try to give our life experiences and what we've seen. And maybe we can learn something about it and try to bridge a gap a little bit here. Anyway, I'm Big Time, and see you tomorrow.